Hello and welcome to the Special Moves podcast. This is episode 108. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jacob Bugsnax and Liam McKelvey.
Yes.
Talking about games.
Yes! Pumped up because I was about to yawn, so I had to stifle it with over-enthusiasm. Hello.
Sometimes we record this on a Monday or Tuesday evening, and we're a bit, like a day or two late on the upload. Mm-hmm. And most of the time we record it on a Sunday morning. And I've definitely, noticeably, this is the first time in my life, really, where I've really felt, internally how different I am in the evenings and the mornings.
Oh, yeah.
I can watch myself back and obviously no one else would bat an eyelid, but I just feel like I'm always stifling a yawn when we record it on a Sunday morning. You just reminded me saying that. Then.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So we're normally well fed in an evening one.
Yeah.
Got lights on and so anyway, it's not, there's not been a ton of stuff happening this week really. And the news I've realised when we just been spending about 20 minutes talking about what's going on, but I guess maybe it's a bit of fatigue from the people in the games industry, whether it's journalists or even people just playing the games. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment, and it kind of revolves around everything being more expensive or higher fidelity or better graphics versions of themselves or whatever. And maybe it's because we're entering this new territory where games are now you can buy one game where you could have probably bought 2 6 months ago because of the prices. So things have slowed down a little bit, I think, and now I don't know, everybody's kind of just waiting for things to happen.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is the big thing, I guess, that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the availability of next gen as well is probably one of the things that, if you look at Twitter and stuff, is just very, very apparent, and how often that comes up in the news and stuff, and the respective CEOs of both companies, Xbox and PlayStation, they're both kind of chatting about how the launch went and how pre-orders went and how, and there's so many Twitter accounts dedicated to posting links to very.co.uk who've got, a batch of stock and it's gone. There's just loads of that going on still in the run up to Christmas and there. So
yeah, I guess it's just staggered the conversation more than ever. Yeah, especially when it's this is one of the only opportunities where there's people who are willing to spend and able to spend still can't get one.
Yeah.
So it's those type of people who would normally be part of this conversation because they can just buy themselves a console and talk about it. Can't, and it must be kind of annoying for them.
I mean, there was that story of that one group of scalpers. I'm assuming you both saw that there was 3,500 PlayStation 5s went to one group of bastards.
Yeah, smugglers.
Who were just trying to make a bit of money,
bandit camp. Sort of
absolutely. Yeah,
that's
no mercy for bandits.
Did you see? That's how they justified it as well. They're like, we're just trying to put food on the table for our families. As you can't really try and make your people feel sorry for you.
Imagine robbing someone's house and saying, I just needed the money.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same, but it's still you can't, I mean, no one's really doing it for fun, are they, you fucking idiots? But it's more, I mean, here, closer to me, there's, people that I know that want to get them, my brother-in-law wants one. Yeah. And it's it's hard to not be well, why didn't you just fucking pre-order one really early in the beginning? And you can't speak like that to people, can you? So I'm just having to be I'll help you have a look. So I've got 3 people that have just associated me because I work with video games and have a podcast with just knowing how to get one. So I'm just sat there refreshing the page like every other chump trying to get one. And it's just it's just a bit hard, isn't it? I've
had that exact conversation as well a couple of times. It's just well, if you were interested, you should have told me that you were interested when I was pre-ordering it in fucking September. But you
can't say that to them, can you?
Exactly. Yeah. So if anyone happens to be watching this, you know who you are.
Just joking. Yeah, I'm here for you.
So anyway, how have you been enjoying your PlayStation 5s that we successfully pre-ordered and purchased in a timely manner?
Oh God, you know what? Yeah, I have been enjoying mine. I've been playing Destiny on it. I guess I'll talk about it in a little bit, and I've also been playing Immortals Fenyx Rising, which I'll talk about later. So, but I've been still enjoying it. And do you know what? Last night was a bit of unusual situation in my house because I have 2 children, a wife, and one of my children is 2 years old, and she's a pain in the arse. Yeah, she's just like doesn't give a shit about what anyone wants because she's 2, and she's been kind of a little hellion, staying up till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock one night. Oh my god. Anyway, she went to bed yesterday at 6 o'clock. So the whole rest of the house, we found ourselves with a bit of time. Like, oh my god, we can do what we want. She's asleep. She's going to be sleeping all night. Let's go. So what did I had to celebrate? I made the roast dinner, and I was going to play on the PlayStation 5. Yeah. But what happened was that my eldest daughter ended up on Just Dance for 2 hours with this sort of endurance that I can only be jealous of. She's been playing the new Just Dance. And then I was like, all right, cool. She's come off it now. It's my time. And then my wife's on this Tetris Effect. Remember I told you it was like something else. She doesn't really play games.
You're making a roast dinner with, like, I'm assuming, like, Chris Rea driving home for Christmas, just playing in the background.
Yeah, exactly. I'm domestic goddess. Yeah. And then she's dancing to fucking Sean Paul or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. And then my wife's just sitting there thinking it's only a matter of time till I can play Tetris. So I ended up fucking the PlayStation off because they took over it and watching the boxing upstairs in the bath, man. So that was so what I'm trying to say is
boxing in the bath. Yeah. There's not many people who'd even attempt that, and most of those people have been on MTV Cribs because their bath is fucking insane, and they've got like a 50-inch TV to watch it on it. But I'm assuming that's not the setup that you've got there.
Got a little fucking waterproof Huawei, haven't I?
Just on the phone, isn't
it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sipping a beer, drinking it. Anyway, so the point is that it's weird to see other people in my house using it and enjoying it. And I mean, arguably, both of those games I mentioned are available everywhere else. Yeah. So it's not really exclusive to the PlayStation 5. But it's good to see that it's it takes its place in the center of the home, and it became the main source of entertainment for us all last night, which was interesting. It's become a bit of excitement for people who aren't really into consoles. So that was, I guess, the point. But it's cool to see it taken, and it can't help but be the center of the home because it's so fucking big.
Yeah. The strength of the gravity on that thing is insane.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But the Laura, that's true in our house as well. I mean, it's in my living room as well. Laura's playing it more than she was interested in the PS4. She's just beaten Miles Morales. She's finished that game. And she's playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla right now as we're recording this, and that's pretty unusual to be honest.
Yeah.
But I guess it's the excitement of it being new and next gen and stuff as well. For me, as included me in that. Like I'm sitting in my living room playing my PlayStation more than I have been in a long time. So yeah. I can totally see how that works. Liam, what have you been up to?
So I have finished every PS5 game I've got, apart from Bugsnax.
True to fall.
And I finished Demon's Souls in 10.5 hours it took me.
Nice.
I'm going to put that down just to muscle memory of having played Demon's Souls twice before anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't I did a bit, I messed about a bit with New Game Plus, did some of the weird challenge trophies they have for taking down bosses in certain conditions and stuff like that. Forging one of the best swords in the game and stuff with the blacksmith. But other than that, I think I'm done with Demon's Souls for now, which is a bit disappointing considering I paid 70 quid for the thing and I've put 12, 13 hours into it at most, and now I'm done with it. But I went back to Miles Morales, and that was my first PS5 Platinum.
Yeah.
So I did 100% of that, did everything you can, and it's very fun. And I look forward to whatever they do with the inevitable Spider-Man 2, because you know for sure that's coming out probably towards the tail end of PS5, I imagine, or in the middle. And then
I'm really interested to see how because unlike Assassin's Creed, you can't simply say, well, this time it's in ancient Egypt. You've got to be in New York. So I'm really interested to see with, like you say, the inevitable sequel to Spider-Man, what they do with it and how they make it feel, still interesting and new and unique, and not just slap a different color evil corporation with, blue guns instead of red ones.
Mm-hmm. I assume what they'll do is probably just they'll take the same map but make it more dense, I guess, rather than making it bigger, because it's already quite big.
It's huge, yeah.
Like, and even Miles Morales, they've just limited it to the one neighborhood in Miles Morales instead of giving you the whole map of New York to explore like you had in last Spider-Man game. But yeah, it's fun, and like I like how Miles Morales plays quite a lot. I like his new abilities, all his like special attacks and his combo moves and everything. He's got less gadgets and stuff, but he's got more, just more like inherent abilities to him than regular Spider-Man has. Just because you can't just have the same old Spider-Man again, or it'd just be boring. So it's like his abilities are cool, and it's a nice, it's a perfect launch title, I think, for PS5.
It really is.
But it's very easy to get the platinum on it. It's literally just going around getting collectibles, and then the most annoying one is having to do it on New Game Plus. So you just got to like rush through the story again. But by the point you're on New Game Plus, you're already so powerful anyway that nothing's really going to challenge you. So, and then and I went back to Astrobot. I got the platinum in that as well. And that was quite fun. I think I've already spoke about the wonders of Astrobot quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that was like a nice, easy, chill platinum to do on I think Friday night I did it. And then, I played a little bit of Bugsnax, but I didn't get too far into it. Not enjoying it as much as I thought I would, because the gameplay is... everything about Bugsnax is... The voice acting is great, the visual art style is great, the way the different, like, the Bugsnax and the weird combinations of food and bug is great. The gameplay itself is kind of boring, where it's just... and there's a lot of issues, even like in the first half hour I played, where the AI of the Bugsnax just will not do whatever you want it to do to actually be able to capture it. So it's like, there's one, I think it was the Frider, I think I had to capture, which, combination of French fries and a spider. And I had to lure it into the trap with ketchup, but it just would not go near the trap, even though the trap was like
hate it when that happens, man.
2 feet away from it, and I was constantly spamming it with ketchup. But there's some weird like little quirks and issues in that game that the game, it's like great idea, but the execution is maybe a bit so-so.
It's like they've just dressed it up with as many gimmicks and quirks. It's all style, isn't it? Like
it definitely, it's like
it was just like the gameplay loop, and sometimes
that's an incredible statement to be looking at that trailer and for someone to say it's all style. It's a fucking
It's like I'll tell you what, it's been a bit of a fucking marketing fucking masterclass from the I know them pretty well, like, and I didn't know that it was gonna smash that much. They had a song by an artist who's not even a huge artist. Cara Carbonito's good, but it's not like Megan Thee Stallion or something. Do you know what I mean? So with this quirky song by an artist that it's not mainstream, to go so big and to be like everyone knows the Bugsnax song more than anything, and then like for people who know who those voice actors are, it's a really big deal. They've got like cult following people. Yeah, they've done loads of what they've got, but like I had a little spin of the game and thought exactly the same as Liam. It feels like a bit Net Your Rosie PlayStation 1 demo disc sort of thing, where you can, but compared to like if the PlayStation 5 lineup was a demo disc, that would be the Net Your Rosie title. The quality, and it was a PlayStation Plus game, so it was free for people that own PlayStation Plus, which should be pretty much everyone for PS5 because you get access to that back catalogue. So, but at the end of the day, I think when you've got like, I don't know, you've just come off the back of Demon Souls, looking as good as it does, and Spider-Man being as fluid as it is, or whatever. Then
even Astro, which kind of fulfills that like cutesy kind of that world, but does a great job of it. I mean, I played a bit of Demon Souls. I only got it a few days ago, so I ordered it a while ago, but it took a while to arrive.
Right,
and it's I said to you guys tonight, like almost straight away, that it's like sometimes you say things as a knee jerk, but I'm still thinking about it, and I don't think I've ever experienced it before, where I played something and felt like I was playing an E3 demo that's never really going to see the light of day. It really looked like a fucking bullshot it just is the best looking game I have played. Demon Souls, and you know, it's such a fucking. It's amazing how it's recognizably the same game as Demon Souls, and yet it looks completely fucking. It just looks like a brand new kind of. And I really want them to do the Demon Souls treatment to all of the other Soulspawn games. I don't care how recent they are. Dark Souls 3, fucking do it. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I would eat that up. And Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, I just want it to happen. Because I would replay those games anyway. And they're the kind of games that you know them and you're familiar with. And like Liam said, he's already played Demon Souls twice, right? So he's played it through twice already before the remasters come out. You just replay these games if you love them. So to be able to replay them in a different, amazing, brand new, shiny coat is what a treat that was. So I'm really looking forward to blowing through Demon Souls and.
Because you're the same as me, where it's like it was new content. It's so funny because it's kind of not new content at all, because you're still seeing these huge inspirations for some of the other Souls games, down to like there's so many areas that are like Bloodborne. There's like the Nightmare Frontier, basically the blueprints for that is in the second area of World 4, and there's some really like like it's so familiar. It was so nice. I've just been sat on that the whole time. It's kind of ruined the PlayStation 5 lineup for me. I'm always going to remember this as the time where I had every single game, and I've just been playing Demon Souls 4 times, 5 times. I haven't even, just saying to the guys before we started recording, I haven't even taken the cellophane off my PS5 copy of Valhalla, because I don't care yet. Because until I get that platinum on Demon Souls, everything else can go away, unless it's offering something different. I remember that Blue Point, the big rumor was that they were also working on the PS5 remaster of Bloodborne, so that's why Bloodborne hasn't had any special treatment or whatever. If that's true, then
yeah, I mean, I would buy that immediately, obviously, and even the idea of it is making me not want to. I haven't tried Bloodborne on PS5 because I just would rather, just the faint hope that there might be a remake in the future has made me want to just stay away from it and just see because I played through Bloodborne God knows how many times that I can go without playing it again for a little while and seeing what happens on the old remake front. So it's been good just kind of playing through these games and stuff, and it's kind of kept me away from everything else, really. I played a little bit of my Nintendo Switch. I played a bit of. I'm playing through Ni no Kuni on that, but I haven't. I really want to get Hyrule Warriors, the new Hyrule Warriors game. But Liam, you picked that up, haven't you? But
I did. I bought it. It came in the post yesterday morning. Put it in the Switch. Made sure it was updated. Did not play it. Ended up playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War all day instead, which
like
is,
a man.
Part of me wishes I did play Hyrule Warriors instead, because I'm getting to a higher level now. It's putting me in because of like the skill-based matchmaking. It's putting me in the same games as like people who've already prestiged and got to like level 100 on the seasonal ranking, and Jesus Christ, they are like crackheads with rifles.
Yeah,
that's madness.
They are crackheads.
They're crackheads, but instead of crack, it's energy drinks, isn't it? So
it's cans of Rockstar and Monster.
That's for sure.
Yeah. But okay. Well, I still haven't finished the campaign of that either. I played a little.
I went back. I even went back and did the alternate ending to the campaign.
Did you?
Yeah. The alternate ending's actually better than the normal ending, to be honest.
Really? Yeah. Director's cut. Okay. Well, that's COD. I did buy that. And so I do want to play it a bit more, but the nearer that Destiny 2 comes, the kind of less interested I am in COD. So we better get some COD played ASAP before I start really, really regretting my purchase.
Yeah.
Fucking Ghost Recon Wildlands 2, innit? Right. So, well, there actually was a Ghost Recon Wildlands 2, wasn't there? What was it called?
Breakpoint.
Breakpoint, yeah.
And they turned it into an RPG for whatever reason.
I never went anywhere near that. Did you guys play that?
I played the beta of it, and I thought it was fine, but it came out and got like slammed by pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Ubisoft decided not to send me a copy after I published my first book, which was called Ghost Recon Wildlands: My Shame.
So was the cover just like this? Your hand over like half your face. Okay.
And powerful but desperate. And what it was like, after the mistake, after unfortunately COVID stopped my Waterstones tour, but I was so ashamed of Ghost Recon Wildlands 1 and recommending it to you guys. For anyone who doesn't know the lore, that's basically the story. That I recommended such a dud that I daren't go back. Ubisoft have kind of I don't know, they're good at letting people down, aren't they? So to go near it.
They're weird. They're a weird company. Like they're a weird company because they do experiment and they do try new stuff and like For Honor and things like that. Trying to kind of carve out a new thing, but then they have some of the longest running repetitive series, going really. Like they've got Far Cry. Wow. Far Cry is a template that slightly evolves every time. Assassin's Creed is a template that slightly evolves every time.
So they've got a new IP that comes out this week, and I've already played it. So I'll talk about that if you want. If you want me to tell you, unless you want to go on to something else first.
Well, no, let's do that first. Then let's do. So this is what's it called?
It's called Immortals Fenyx Rising. But if you remember its announcement and stuff like that, I think its initial title was Gods and Monsters. Kind of pitched as a colourful RPG. That's what it was pitched as. Yeah. What everyone knows it as is that game that looks a little bit like Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. So this game was the one, if you remember a couple of weeks back, Liam played a Google Stadia demo of.
I did.
And he was quite warm on it. So Liam have since discussed the similarities between his gameplay and mine. And for anyone who did play that demo, it's not the same as the first opening couple of hours of the game. So, I played through pretty much the prologue, I guess. The equivalent of, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the first area. So, I guess I'll just go into it right now. Basically, the story is about a Titan. Like, I can't remember what his name is. Like, Thoros, something like that. He's pissed off. And he's fucked everyone. Like, he's just stolen all the gods' stuff and stolen Zeus's lightning bolts, and all the humans have been turned into stone. And then Zeus goes to see his, complicated relationship with Prometheus, the guy that he, tied to, I don't know, a boulder or a cliff or something and fed his liver to an eagle because he stole the god's fire and gave it to man, right? That's like the Greek myth. So this is like a really it's a family-friendly story, so it's pretty cool that like they take all these horrible things and make them the butt of jokes and stuff. So Prometheus is also a great storyteller. So the whole framing of this is that it's Prometheus telling Zeus a story. So Leo mentioned that when he talked about it, where it's like, Prometheus will say, and our young hero did this, and Zeus is like, oh, I remember it was like this. And then in-game, so you've got a narrator all the way through, the narrator's Prometheus. And I don't know if this is just me or whatever, but when you guys are playing it, keep an eye out for it. I don't know if this is just some sort of accidental racism, but Zeus sounds identical to just pick one, What We Do in the Shadows TV show character. I don't know if their accents are Greek or people trying to be Greek who are bad at being Greek on purpose. I've been to Greece a couple of times. They don't sound like that. So I don't know what it is, but it's probably authentic and I'm going to sound like an idiot. But it was a bit, Americans doing a European accent. So there's this dodgy, almost Borat-esque voice all the way through with this narration. And the game plays like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed and Breath of the Wild, but somehow, I don't know. It's like if you saw two beautiful people, a beautiful chiseled man and a beautiful woman, and you think that baby's going to be beautiful, and then you look and the baby's not really beautiful, but it does in fact have the jaw of the man and the eyes of the mum, and you just think, all right, but it doesn't. Okay, well, there goes that. It's one of them. It's one of them. You've got the prime ingredients here, but it's just. So I played the game. and here's what I think of it dead quick. It's pretty. It feels nice and relaxing. I would play it if I was very ill. When I'm ill, I played Nier Automata last time, and it was really good because I just don't focus on much else. When you know, the game's got an empty world. They kind of explain it in the story as this angry titan or whatever, you know, turns all these people to stone. So you don't like. I don't know. It's not like a world bustling with NPCs or just about anything. It's the world that just looks like a collection of assets put on a map carefully. It's kind of like going to somebody's house who's really into Warhammer and they show you their custom map that they've made for battles. It doesn't ever look like a thriving, bustling world. It just looks like some very carefully, well-placed assets. It's just a bit like that.
Right.
The game relies heavily on ripping off Breath of the Wild. I don't know how to say that in a nice way, so sorry if anyone's listening that worked on the game. But the game has got the exact same climbing and it's got that circular stamina bar. And it relies on this really weird thing at the very beginning where your character, Phoenix, is working their way through this map. And they see somebody getting carried away by a griffin. And then they have to jump into it's purgatory. I can't remember what the real word for it is. And they do some, what's it called on Breath of the Wild? Like the trials. Like, you know, like when you go into like a shrine and you do like a little... trial thing. You levitate a cube out of somewhere, move it over there, and then you throw a bomb. It's that. It's loads of that at the beginning. You do that and then you get a sword. You do that and then you get an axe. You do that and then you get your wings. But the game is literally, do a trial, you get some wings. You're out in the world for a minute. You see that guy getting carried away by a griffin again. Goes down another hole, and then it's like, make your way to over there. Run over there. And then it's got that Ubisoft thing of climb to a high point where there's a bird circling. You can mark all these chests and areas of interest on your map and do that, or you can just carry on playing the game. So I thought, well, I've got limited time. I want to talk about it on the podcast. So I don't want to go and get that chest. I'm going to carry on. So I carry on. Trial. It's kind of Zelda-y, but it doesn't have any charm because it's not got this sparsity of Zelda where it's almost like Zelda's like storytelling, fairy tale, almost like it's trying to be like an archetype. It's trying to be like the hero, the villain, and whatever. And then you get these townsfolk. You do get nice towns and interesting things. And when you do see one, it really is interesting and different. Go to the desert and you see, oh my God, it's really cool. But this just doesn't seem to have that charm because it's kind of trying to do that Assassin's Creed thing where the map is full of stuff. But the map isn't full of people, it's just full of stuff. So you're just this kind of lonely weirdo, just like flying, well, not even flying for the first fair bit, around. And I don't know, like, it just wasn't hitting the spot, to be honest.
Yeah.
The combat is like, trigger and bumper buttons, and you roll, you dodge. Bit God of War, a bit Assassin's Creed RPG saga sort of thing. Mm-hmm. You can kind of what I'm saying is like, you can kind of pull all of the inspiration from other games. If you know games, you can just see that's from that, that's from that, that's from that, that's from that. And it doesn't seem to have much of a original twist. But I guess what is cool is that each time you do a trial, you're rewarded with a new, exciting, interesting addition to your arsenal. So first it's wings, which is a big deal because now you can double jump. Then you get an axe and it's really strong. So you can do heavy attacks. And then you can do this, and then you can do that. And then you get a bow and arrow. So you get that cool thing where you're slowly building yourself into a Megazord, which I guess is a cool feeling because it's drip feeding you all these mechanics rather than just like, okay, here's this. But it just took me a good couple of hours to get there. Good 2-3 hours to I felt like I was still playing this tutorial. And I just kind of thought, well, it's Ubisoft, so they're padding out the game as long as possible, so it's going to be value for money. But for me, it was like, Liam would be halfway through Demon's Souls. It's been 4 hours here. I think I've been a bit spoiled at the moment. That the games that I've been playing have been of such a high caliber, and I've been spoiled for choice truly. So every time I've chosen to go to a game, like I go back to like Destiny or something I really enjoy, or I'm playing like a From Software remake or something. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe this sounds a little bit harsher than it, truly means to be. But I just felt that it was kind of that. There's no spark to it. There's just not really. And I by the way, yeah, I really like Greek mythology. Like, I grew up like really, really into it. Like, I don't know, like in my school I grew up and there was this big book of it for kids. It's a great thing to teach kids, by the way. Okay, and everyone's wife dies and everyone kills himself, whatever. So reading those, I was way, way into it. Films I've been watching over the past couple of years are all like retellings of the same shit. I love it. I don't think it ever gets old. But I just, maybe for kids it would be good and there might be a spark there. But I didn't really like Breath of the Wild as much as everyone else, it sounds like. But at least I kind of understand where the love comes from there. So yeah, that sounds a bit mean and a bit, I don't know. I try to not be that brutal about games. I'm not being brutal about it, but I'm just saying that it's a lower price than a lot of the other games on.
Right.
I think it's like 50 quid rather than 70.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's one of these, like some of these Ubisoft games, like Assassin's Creed or whatever, where it does get good after 15 hours. Can you remember those articles back in the day? Assassin's Creed Origins gets good after like 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's one of them. It's a real, like almost like a JRPG where it's just setting a scene for the first third of the game. You're just growing as a character. So, I don't want to lie to you guys and say that I've played loads of it. I've done the equivalent of what you see in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that first bit. But I got more of a feel for that playing it. So, yeah, just think the world was a bit empty and there wasn't much to it. So, yeah, that's Immortals Fenyx Rising.
Yeah, it's a real shame about the name with that, isn't it? We've already talked about it before, but it was originally called Gods and Monsters, which is a bit better title, and kind of thing. Everything to a certain degree, everything does kind of trickle down from that, and probably would have had a bigger impact and stuff like that if it was just a bit of slightly better branding, and because Immortals Fenyx Rising sounds like a million. Games I've scrolled past on the App Store over the last 20 years. Like it doesn't kind of.
Do you know what? So. I can't understand why Immortals was the name of the game or Fenyx Rising was the name of the game. Why does it have to be both? Because it's implying there's going to be 20 Immortals games, which it's Ubisoft, so there probably is. Yeah. But maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's actually coming out this week, so we'll cover that in a bit more detail later on. But that's Immortals Fenyx Rising, which is coming out this week. So let's do an email or two then. If you want to send us an email, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Send us an email about anything you want. Maybe you're going to pick up Immortals Fenyx Rising and disagree with what Jake said. Any stories you've got from your new Xbox, your new PlayStation, maybe you're a PC gamer who's been investing loads in graphics cards, and tell us about it. Tell us what you've been up to. Tell us what games you've been playing. Tell us what you think of them. dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. We've had loads over the last couple of weeks, so thanks everyone for sending them in. They do all get read. This one, Jake, I don't know if you're ready to do a bit more talking, but I think you're going to be the one. Yeah, I think you're going to be the one with the answer to this one. I think this one is from patron and friend of the channel, Stuart, who says, "Dear Special Moves, Stuart here from Newport, Shropshire, not the one in Wales, and I have a confession to make. After your last pod on Tuesday, you got me thinking about Destiny and how I should pick it back up and see what it's like these days. After not playing for what feels like forever, I thought I would start a new character, and I was initially disappointed to see my character started with light level 1050, the same as my long-standing character. Oh, well, I thought, let's see what happens. Turns out they have kind of combined Destiny 1 and 2, changed the visuals and made it much more story-driven. Well, that is what I've got from the first 45 minutes anyway. From there, I know there are a large number of games making a 2.0 version, like No Man's Sky. Anthem is working on one. Final Fantasy XIV did it as well. But I never expected this sort of rework for Destiny. It feels old, yet new at the same time. Amalgamating the intro of Destiny was a little jarring initially, but then it started to deviate from the original slightly, and it got me wondering, is this what Bungie wanted to do all along? To expand on Destiny and not ever make a sequel? So I wanted to know, have you all started a brand new character? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the changes, and I'm now really excited for the PS5 version, and may even have to splash out on Beyond Light. That's the new expansion. Thanks for taking the time to read this, guys. Stay safe and keep up the great work, Stuart. Cheers, Stuart. Thanks for the email, mate. So the situation here is that Destiny 2 is playable on next gen. There's a PS4 version which you can play on PS5, but there is a kind of next gen update coming for PS5. I don't know what the situation is on Xbox, but there's a next gen update coming for PS5 on December the 8th, which is going to add, some features and obviously tweak the visuals and probably give you a performance versus cinematic fidelity mode, which a lot of the game, which I'm a huge fan of. I really like that that's an option. So there's probably going to be that kind of shit. And the trigger support, that was all building up to the main fucking event, which is the trigger support for the PlayStation 5 controller, which is.
I have to say, right, you might turn it off after a while, because after my stupid marathon session of Call of Duty yesterday, I turned off the adaptive triggers on PS5 because having to pull the trigger every time to aim down sights, my hands started to cramp up. I had to turn it off in the end because it was actually making me worse at the game. So I had to turn it. It was cool, but it had to go.
Yeah, it is something that I think we have discussed lightly, at least anyway, that perhaps they should kind of separate the servers based on people who've got the controller features on and the people who've got the controller features off, because it physically takes more time to bring the weapon up and stuff like that, so
that Destiny, how we play is mostly PvE, which I guess. But Liam was right. I turn adaptive triggers off on COD now because of the disadvantage it gives you. It does, especially if you're using heavy weapons. It's a big. So, but so they're adding a bunch of stuff. It's same to the Xbox as well. They're adding cross-gen support, which means what? Am I playing only with people who have got it on PS5 right now, or?
Right.
I don't know, but so they're not adding cross-platform yet, but they're adding cross-gen. Which, congratulations! I'm sure that's really difficult to do, Bungie. But the point is that they have plans, big plans, and they always have. And I think that a little bit of backstory, and I guess you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the original plan for Destiny was it to be one solid game that lasted for 10 years. The 10-year plan, the infamous 10-year.
They never said one game. They always just said 10-year plan for Destiny, which is kind of ambiguous. It could have been fucking 10 games. Could have been 10 games, one every year when you put it that way.
That's true.
But the 10-year plan was the big thing, wasn't it?
And it was to get something constantly evolving. So I just assume that they meant maybe a couple of installments. But at the moment, they have taken a lot more from Destiny 1 than you might first think. The initial opener is a mission from the first game, but tweaked slightly.
Which that's been there for a little while. That's like a weird thing. It's I guess just because it was they thought it was a better way of bringing players on or something, but they just had that one mission from Destiny 1 at the beginning, and it's been like that for quite a long time, which is quite strange, but makes more sense now, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah, it totally does. So I guess with the new character thing, it's actually so much better to start a new character, and here is why. Right, you start with a new character at the same level and all that as your existing character that you've worked very hard on, and that also gives you access to a bunch of tutorial missions and intro missions, which is really good onboarding. It's fucking wild good, right? You do this initial campaign quest on. In old Russia, and then it takes you to the tower, which is the main hub of the game, but it's offline mode, so you don't see all these other players flipping imaginary tables or challenging you to a duel. It's just you, Cedric Daniels from The Wire, and everyone else, and you talk to them individually. He will say, Guardian, you need to do a raid, whatever the fuck it is, and do a strike. And then you do a strike, and then you get experience from doing the strike, you get equipment for doing the strike, you get more equipment, more thanks, more pats on the head, more points for doing that quest, and you can turn that quest in. So you're doing the strike and you're getting your level, and you're doing that. Then you go and do a bit of Crucible, you get stuff for that, then you do Gambit. So you do all these things for the first time, if you've got a new character, and you level up really fast. So you level 1050, and the soft cap is level 1200. So if you don't know about Destiny, it's very complicated because it's starting at 1050. What is it, a fucking graphics card? Start at level 1. But it's not. If you don't know Destiny, basically, you get equipment, and your equipment adds to your overall power level. And at 1200, that's when the game will stop dropping equipment of that level, like randomly. So if you kill an enemy and they drop a gun, it'll never be higher than that. Yeah. To get higher and higher and higher equipment, then you have to do special things. So like meet quota once a week by doing certain Crucible, doing certain player versus player events, or doing certain strikes, doing certain events. So after that point, you're capped out, apart from for special occasions. But to get to that level, you can just play the game however you want, wherever you're doing public events, whether you're doing player versus enemy, whether you're doing player versus player, it doesn't matter. But if you've got a new character, you're just doing these tutorial quests and you get your equipment, and it's a good refresher. The best thing is that all of your existing characters' equipment, all of the exotics that you've had, is in your storage unit, and it's all been up to 1050. So you can take all of the rewards and all of your exotics and all of your rare stuff, all of your resources, money from your old character, and it's already in like your universal bank. Now on top of that, you can now like imbue these weapons with like the power of another weapon, so you can take your weapon with you when you level up, which is the best thing. Because the downside about Destiny was that if you got a really good weapon at like, I don't know, level 400, and then at level 900 you got this piece of shit submachine gun that you fucked up by getting that early on. So your best bet was to just level up as much as you could and then get it. Mm-hmm. So it's way better to start a new character. It's so simple and straightforward. I cannot believe how good the free-to-play element is. It's unreal, because I bought Beyond Light day one, haven't even done the campaign, haven't even touched it. The only time I've seen anything to do with it is when I've been playing the Crucible, which is how I leveled up so fast. I got to soft cap in a day just from doing Crucible, because it's well good now. Like, you get more rewards the more kills you get. If you win, you get more rewards. So like, if you win one game of Crucible, you get a new gun, another new gun, a helmet, and a chest piece and legs from one match. So you level up super fast, right? They've made the game really good for that. Like, it's not as much of a grind to do that shit. And the EverQuest store, or whatever is it called? What's it called?
Yeah. Eververse.
Is it Eververse? EverQuest is the game.
EverQuest is a
an old MMO.
Who's this now? Do you know that was the welcome to the Old Man Special Moves podcast, where we agree on getting things wrong. Where Jake says, "Is it called this?" and I say, "Yes, it is." And it's not. It's not. And Liam, thank fuck for youthful, sprightly Liam, saves us.
Yeah, he'll live us all. So I've got to say, there was none of that, right? There was no Eververse shop, that Tess or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
But, there's one point where I clicked, you open your little map up and then you click all the way to the right and you've got this, I don't know what the word for it is, but on like Fortnite and Call of Duty and all these games and whatnot, you've got like this battle pass system. And then you've got these unlocks. At level 1, you unlock some glimmer. Level 2, you unlock a shader for your cloak. And then underneath it, you've got like the cool awards that you can only get by buying the season pass. I don't know what this thing is called, like the loot ladder, I'll just call it, because it's like a roadmap, but of stuff that you unlock. So apart from that area of the game, at no point is it gone, well, you could have this. Or, all of the, it doesn't even throw hints towards the paid stuff when you're playing the campaign. It's not like, and if you go to Europa, which is part of the new update, and it's not like that. Multiplayer also, when I say multiplayer, sorry, I mean like PvP, gives you all the maps. So I played some of the Europa maps. I played like the Moon from Destiny 1. It's been good. I'll tell you what, Unreal is free. It doesn't feel like...
Well, I'm looking forward to really giving it a go and seeing how that's... Because I, more recently, over the last 6 months, 12 months, I have dipped into it a little bit. And I felt, like overwhelmed by the free to play ish stuff, and in that, I mean, it just felt like stepping into an MMO. It felt like stepping into Lord of the Rings Online, where there's just fucking loads of worlds, loads of things to do, loads of currencies, and it was just like, that there is a reason why they thought Destiny would be a good idea as an MMO light. Because the light is a really important part of the fucking recipe. I didn't want to play an MMO. I didn't want to, I didn't want to it's a hugely involving thing, I think, and you've got to know where you are, and it takes a long time to get to a place where you're like, you know how everything works, you know what all the currencies are, you know how you progress, like you were saying there, Jake. You know, you get your loot up to a certain point, and then beyond that point, you have to fucking start grinding in different ways to make it work, which is great when you're in it. That's how you get longevity out of it. But you know, to explain all that is difficult. So I'm even though I've seen a lot of the reviews are kind of saying that Beyond Light is a really good expansion. I've weird reviews where it's got an 8 out of 10, but then a lot of the reviewers criticizing the removal of so much content. But I think for someone like me, that's exactly what it needed, where it just needed to just trim away a lot of stuff. And it's good to know that it could come back in the future, but you know, just kind of clean it out a little bit and just focus the game a little bit more. And it sounds from what you're saying that that's exactly what they've, you know, kind of
they've done amazing stuff with it. Like, you know, the only other thing that I don't like about these types of games is this big fucking I've got like emotes that I've unlocked that I thought was for my character, but turns out it's like account based. So I've got some like exotic emotes, like sprinkling some salt. There's only available in 2018. It was only available for that season. It was only available if you... I've got the one I use the most. I especially use it on PvP, which is very bad manners, but I don't give a fuck. When I kill somebody, I use the slip emoji thing, so it looks like I'm slipping on. And you can only get that if you play at Christmas 2 years ago. So it's bad that no one else could get that slip emoji. It feels great for me because it's disrespectful. But they've got this amazing like little hole in the wall in the tower where you can buy, not with real money, you can buy with your exotic engram things, exotic weapons and equipment from the seasons past.
Great.
So from the, what was it, the Curse of Osiris, there was that laser gun, remember? The Prometheus.
Yeah. Game breaker.
You can get that if you, because now it's been taken out of the game.
Yeah.
So like what I'm saying is it's very, very, very simple. Click and what is even more simple is you can literally click by expansion. Click Forsaken, you can see all of the exotics and you can pick them. It's not random, and they're all pretty much the same thing. You know, you need like an exotic engram, 200 augmented shards or whatever the hell they're called, and it's really cool. It's really great. So you don't have to like faff about too much with stuff like that. But you know, it sounds really cliche, and I'm sure there's probably about 50 articles that say it. But it feels like if you've always looked at Destiny now. Probably the best time to... can you hear my child screaming?
I can, yeah. I hope everything's okay.
She's fucking not agreeing with you about Destiny or something, isn't it?
Yeah. You're a scumbag. You don't know what you're talking about.
So, yeah, she forget her. She's... that you can get just all the way through it really, really quickly now. So, because of that, and because it's the most straightforward it's ever been, because you know what? Yeah, it doesn't even pretend it gives a shit about the campaign until you get to these expansions. So it's literally, you do this prologue mission, and then it says, now do some Crucible, now do some strikes. Strikes? Where? Doesn't matter. Fighting who? Doesn't matter. You know, it's just, if you want to play it, it's the best time to play it now. Because it's costing you no money to get the full experience, really. Yeah. And unless you do the campaigns, which are normally a bit of faff, you don't have to pay. So,
yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to download it and install it. I was really trying to wait until the next-gen patch was live, and I know, you know, it's going live in, like, about a week, but I'm keen on playing some more, like, first-person shooter type stuff. There's a lot of, like, third-person adventure-y type of things going on my PlayStation 5 at the moment, so I wouldn't mind shooting some aliens in the face, so I might give that a go. We'll do one more email before we... do the new games, which, like I said, there's fucking loads of new games to get through. I like this email, so we'll do this one. Hey gamers, thanks to the new gen, I finally have a PlayStation. The PS4, that is. I can finally play all the legendary exclusives I've been watching others play for something like 6 years now. My only other console experience is with the Nintendo Switch. Given that I'm coming from Nintendo, you'd think I'd be used to forking over premium prices, and in some ways I am. But not when it comes to online play. a year of PS Plus is triple the cost of Nintendo Switch Online, and it doesn't even include the ability to stream older games to the console. No, I'd have to pay another $50 for PS Now to get that. Now, I'm no mathematician, but it seems to me that I'd have to give Sony $110 a year to get everything that Nintendo Switch Online offers for $20. Not even everything, in fact, because Sony doesn't offer those wacky Nintendo Battle Royale experiments that I've come to love. I never thought I'd be saying that I've been spoiled by the Apple of video games, but here we are. Enjoy next gen. Thanks. Eli of Austin, Texas. P.S. Yes, I was Tabitha before. New game, new name, same music therapist. So nice one, Eli.
Oh yeah. Music therapy. Yeah. How can you forget? Yeah. So, well, am I getting this right or not? But you don't get PS Plus games on Switch, do you? So
no, you get the retro.
Yeah, you get the NES and SNES.
Yeah. So I guess that's the trade-off, because there have been some pretty good games. Not that I'm defend them too much like a fanboy, but you do get some pretty good games on PS Plus, to be fair. Yeah. If you pay for the year, what would you have gotten this year? Bloodborne, that's it.
There's no question. I think the comparison. Hollow Knight, yeah. The comparison with Xbox is what makes it look particularly bad, I think, because of the Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you, Xbox Live, which is the PlayStation Plus, equivalent. So you get Xbox Live, and you get like whatever number of games it is, 100, 200 games or whatever on Xbox and on PC. Mm-hmm. So the value of that, and Nintendo is cheap. That is definitely 20 quid, or is it 20 or 15 in the UK? I don't know.
But for the year it's like 20.
Yeah. So that's cheap, for a whole year, and you get access to the SNES stuff and whatever. I don't know what other benefits you get, but
you get the Battle Royale games. I actually pay for it. And that's it really. It's so you can play your little SNES emulator. That's what I have it for.
Yeah.
But it is expensive, the PlayStation Plus thing. Do you want me to quickly burn through the PlayStation Plus games this year, just so you can have a reminder?
So these are this is not the collection. These are the.
Let's say you had 12 months of PlayStation Plus from December last year till now. Yeah. I start in January, okay? Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, and Goat Simulator. BioShock, the collection, The Sims 4, Firewall 0 Hour, Sonic Forces, Shadow of the Colossus, Uncharted 4, Dirt Rally 2, Farming Sim 19, City Skylines, COD World War 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, NBA 2K20, Erica, COD Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, Fall Guys, PUBG, Street Fighter 5, Need for Speed Payback, Vampire, Bugsnax, Hollow Knight, and Middle-earth Shadow of War.
Yeah, so over the period of time, the value becomes clear, isn't it? But the problem is that they ask you for 40, 50 quid outright.
Yeah,
in advance.
So that's probably what we would say, Eli. So maybe in a year's time you'd feel a bit better off about your spending. And I'd imagine as well, if you're subscribing on PS4, they're going to continue supporting the PS4. Freebies, aren't they, for the
for a long time, yeah.
So you'd imagine you'd get some good stuff that was, some more like classics and big games and stuff that, now is the time where you probably get some of the bigger.
That, don't they, Liam? Like I remember when the PS4 came out, like the quality of PS3 games they were giving out were like really good play things,
Oh yeah, like for a good while after the PS4 came out, they still offered PS3 and Vita games. And sometimes even PSP games for a good while into the next gen. Well, at the time, next gen of the PS4. They gave away loads of good stuff on PS3. You used to get like Metal Gear Rising. They gave away the original Demon Souls at one point. Twisted Metal, the Jak and Daxter HD trilogy, the Ratchet and Clank trilogy. They gave away loads of good stuff.
So there's going to be a lot of good single player games, I think, getting given out. Probably.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So look forward to that, Eli. Thanks for the emails. Thanks everyone who sent them in. We did have loads again this week, so we do appreciate that. Keep them coming. It's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. Okay, do you guys want to mention anything else before we go into the new games, or are you good?
I think I've spoken enough, to be honest. Sorry, boys.
Yeah, I've got nothing else to say.
let's go then. So the new games for the week starting the 30th of November. I cannot believe it's December already. On Tuesday, December the 1st, Chronos Before the Ashes is out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Google Stadia. It's a THQ Nordic title. Jake, what do you know about this?
A lot. I've been playing it. It's a prequel to like that breakout hit from last year, Remnant from the Ashes. I say a breakout hit if you're on streaming services like Twitch or whatever. It was massive, this game. Liam, you played it, didn't you, as well, Remnant?
Yeah,
it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, it was on Game Pass for a while, and then they gave it away for free on the Epic Store not that long ago. But yeah,
I think we considered playing it as a multiplayer game, but we never got around to it.
I played through the entire thing solo, and it definitely would have been better multiplayer, but it was fun.
Sorry, mate.
It's alright.
Sorry about that.
The shooting in it is good. There's loads of content to get through. It's one of those games where when you finish the campaign, it wants you to like re-roll it again, like straight away, and go in, because it's sort of semi-randomized as well every so often. So like you'll go through an arena and the boss might be randomized, so you could go through it again and have a completely different boss fight. But yeah, it gets called Dark Souls with guns quite a lot because it's quite tough. It's very unforgiving, and it has like a bonfire type system to it where if you die before a checkpoint, all the enemies respawn and all that.
So this is a
sequel to that.
Well, no, it's the prequel to that, and it's not actually very similar. So, in fact, the game originally came out in VR in 2016, I think. And this is actually a bit of a Super Lucky's Tale type deal where it's been made to work, separately. And as such, the game isn't really anything like Remnant from the Ashes. In gameplay, it's solely lore. So it's not just a reroll thing. It has a thing where like you're a kid trying to go through a labyrinth to get to the center and discover a big secret. But if you die in the game, you aren't allowed to enter that labyrinth again for a year in game time, which has got this like aging mechanic. So as you get older, you get slower and more feeble, and your reflexes are slower. But as you get older, you get wiser and you learn to use magic. So you can either play it as like a young, nimble, rolling guy. By the end of it, if you die a lot, a magician. So one to consider if you really like the lore of Remnant, but don't be tricked into thinking that it's similar. It's made by the same development team and whatnot, but it's not the same scope and it's not the same size as Remnant. So yeah.
Okay. Empire of Sin is out on the same day as December the 1st. It's out on PC, Mac, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It's a strategy game. Paradox publishing it. It's the John Romero and his wife Romero Games who are working on it. I'm looking forward to this. It's been on the eShop for a long time, and I've kind of been hoping that it'll be good. I haven't seen any reviews or anything yet, so I don't know if it is. But I'm always open to a strategy game, especially one that I could potentially play on the Switch. So I'm interested to see how this one pans out. Also, the same day, Rainbow Six Siege is getting its kind of official PS5, Xbox Series X port.
You just need to calm the fuck down.
Well, they got like
about 5 games a week
working for them. They're working. There's about 20. They're essentially about 17 games companies, aren't they? So it's it's,
They're dominating this next gen, man. They've released like 2 games a week solidly.
It's like feeling sorry for them is like trying to support your local McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? Twin Mirror is out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This is a Dope Nod entertainment game. Can you tell us about this quickly?
Yeah, it's a game that looks like Liam would play it and either hate it or say, "Oh, it was all right. I finished it in 5 hours." It looks a bit like it could be a bit Alan Wake-y, bit Twin Peaks-y, kind of, one of them psychological thrillers. But I don't know, through the prism of video game storytelling. So it's going to be a man looking inside the mirror and going, "Am I who I think I am?" And there's going to be lots of unreliable narrator stuff and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Silent Hill 2 this is.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man.
Liam will find out for us, I'm sure, somehow. Yeah. I don't know how.
I might give it a go. Like I am a sucker for anything that is remotely looks like Twin Peaks, so I might give it a
go. Worms Rumble is out on the same day as well on PC, PS4, and PS5. What's funny about this is the genre description on Wikipedia. It says Battle Royale, artillery.
The artillery genre. Yeah.
So we know Worms, don't we? So that's happening. Don't know if we need to say anything about it. And then on Wednesday, worth a quick mention, I guess. The 2nd of December, Sam & Max Save the World Remastered is out on PC, Nintendo Switch.
A classic.
Never played it.
Telltale original.
Telltale. Yeah.
This is what they're known for, yeah. This is what put them on the map.
Never played it. So this was before their
demise.
Walking Dead and all that.
Walk Among Us era, yeah.
And then on the 3rd of December, so this is the Thursday, Absolute Drift, which is...
What did you call me?
Exactly. I was waiting for it. I was fucking waiting for it. Chucked it up there, man. Put a little pause. Knew it was coming. Absolute Drift on Nintendo Switch. But I don't know. Don't know what to say about that. Immortals Fenyx Rising is out on the 3rd. So this is the game that Jake talked about earlier. This is out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Google Stadia. So all of the games platforms, if you want to play the game that Jake didn't really enjoy too much. And then Fogs is out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia.
Mm-hmm. We played this at EGX.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. It was okay. It was kind of a puzzler, co-op puzzle game, quite interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you play as like two dogs attached to each other.
Yeah.
Like cat dog.
I was going to say like cat dog, but two dogs.
Both dogs. Dog. Is it? I don't know. Who is it? Coat Sink. I can't remember who's made it, but it's cute. It's a really cool looking game. I think.
It's quite nice. Yeah. It was nice to play that. And then I guess I'll give this a mention, although I've never heard of it. Wildfire is out on Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It's a stealth game published by Humble. On the 3rd of December. Okay, we don't know anything about that. That's fine. All right. And then on the Friday, December the 4th, quite a few things, actually. A couple of ports. FIFA 21 is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X, which is probably a few people will be expecting that. Commandos 2 HD Remaster is coming out on Nintendo Switch. I might give this a look. Commandos 2 is a classic, especially if you've been one of these more recent ones playing Shadow Tactics and Desperados 3 and you got into the genre that way. Commandos 2 is definitely one to have a look at on the Switch. I feel like it would make a lot of sense on the Switch, actually. Yeah. So that's cool. Dragon Quest XI S Definitive Edition is out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. So this has been out. This is the Switch version that's been out for a while now, but it's coming to all the other platforms with all the extra content, but somehow actually looks worse than the original game, apparently. Like, because it's a straight port of the Switch version. So,
right, and then it's ported over the limitations.
Yeah, so all the limitations they had to make to the Switch version have now made their way into this like PC, PS4, Xbox version. So you can either play the original with all its beautiful graphical glory, or you can play this slightly worse looking version, but it's got loads of additional content and the music is much better.
Cool. This game was really good. I really, really wish I had spent more time playing this game.
I still need to finish it. I've started it on PC and PS4 and haven't got more than 10 hours into either of them.
So the same day, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and The Blade of Light is out on Nintendo Switch, which is a tactical role-playing game. Expansion, I guess, or something, is it? I don't know. I've not heard anything about this.
Must be. If it was a full game, I would have known by now. Now that I'm head of the Fire Emblem Wales fan club. So
that's right. Fitness Boxing 2 is out on Nintendo Switch, if you're into that kind of thing.
I'm into one of them two things.
Two.
But...
So, John Wick Hex is out on Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. So this is... I can't remember. What did it come out on first?
PC. I played it.
Just a PC release, was it?
Yeah, it was an Epic exclusive for a while. Yeah, and
I knew there was something.
It's like sort of like, you know, like in Transistor when you pause the combat and you've got a little and it's all like runs in time and all your actions are measured in how much time it takes to do it. That's what John Wick Hex is like, but on like a hex-based grid as well. And so it's like, yeah, it's like you're choreographing scenes from the movies where it's like someone will like run round the corner, time will freeze. You can either shoot them or you can like roll at them and do like a physical melee takedown, grab their gun off them, shoot some other guy who runs through the door. It's quite fun. It's very short though. Like you can get through it in like 3-4 hours, but it's decent, and it's got two of the actors from the film reprising their roles. Not Keanu though. Keanu's not in it.
Not
No.
John Wick.
You play as John Wick, but Keanu isn't actually in the game, and I think the main villain is voiced by Troy Baker, and then it's got Cedric Daniels from The Wire again, because
could have guessed that as well. Yeah,
and Ian McShane are in it.
Right. Well, it sounds like a good fit for the Switch.
It'd be good on Switch, yeah.
Transistor combat I thought was fucking amazing. I loved it, so that's good. And then Madden NFL 21 is out on PS5 and Xbox Series X as well. Who cares? Right, so that is a lot. Thanks everyone for listening and for watching to the latest Special Moves podcast. We're about to record a bonus podcast for our patrons. If you do support us on Patreon, remember to keep checking out your Patreon notifications. Have a look on the Patreon page because we're uploading a bonus podcast every couple of weeks where we talk about some more game stuff, a little bit more off topic, some movies, TV, whatever. It's a little bit more free form than this podcast, which is obviously like extremely thoughtfully planned and laid out. Every single word that we say is scripted. So the bonus podcast is completely different. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again soon. Bye.